Democrats in the U.S. have long relied on the Hispanic vote, but that's been changing as more of those voters throw their support behind conservative lawmakers. Joining me to discuss this trend from the Latino Conservative podcast, Andrew Alvarez. Andrew, thanks so much for being here. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. This is President Trump's support among Hispanic voters. You see, 2016, it was around 28%. In 2020, it rose to 35%. The question I always ask when we're presenting this kind of a topic, if President Trump and his supporters are widely branded as racist, then why do we see these numbers? Why are we seeing this increase?
See, that has a couple of different meanings to me, different answers to me. In fact, I myself have been labeled a racist because I am a Trump supporter and was a Trump supporter. And I think the answer to that would be along the lines of just some of the hypocrisy that we've seen as Latinos in what Trump has said, as opposed to what the Democratic Party has been saying. You know, it's the same thing.
Understood. Okay. Will this support of conservatism stop now that President Trump is out of office?
Absolutely not. In fact, I actually converted to conservatism back during Obamacare when that happened. And I could see this trend going, it just snowballing because, you know, I took a trip not that long ago actually to one of the border towns in Mission, Texas. And even then, you know, when you would expect, you know, where there's obviously a highly Latino community there, you would see that just the trend of conservatism, even in the border towns, is increasing.
Interesting. Okay, so along those lines, do Latinos need to be more outspoken against illegal immigration in order to convince the rest of the country that, look, we're here in the Republican Party, we're growing our numbers here, we're here to stay?
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I tell everybody. I'm totally for 100% immigration legally. However, illegal immigration, I think that there has been a problem with that in the past. I've seen it growing up as a natural-born citizen of the United States, and even my parents were natural-born citizens of the United States. I've seen people come over illegally, and it's not just an economic thing. It's a safety thing as well, knowing that these people cross the border and the land that they have to go through, the mountains, and, you know, there's just a dangerous terrain. So not just an economic thing, but it's also a safety thing for the people that are actually crossing over.
Yeah, I agree. There seems to be not a lot of concern for those individuals, for these kids that are making these ridiculously long journeys and risking their lives. And obviously, the parents are risking their lives as well. Okay, so we just talked about what Latinos need to do. What can Republicans do to grow the number of Latinos that become conservatives?
I think the best thing that Republicans can do would be to support Latinos and reach out to Latinos. There's a lot of Latinos out there that are proud. And in our proudness, we are quiet, though. We don't speak out. And that's one of the main reasons why I started my podcast, because I've seen a lot of us, plenty of us, just sit around and do nothing and put our shoes on every day, go to work, and, you know, that was it. That was our life. There wasn't enough of us that would actually get up and stand for our rights. And I believe that all Republicans should encourage Latinos, and not just Latinos, everybody with the same ideologies to stand up for their voices, stand up for their rights.
And as I would travel around the country, at first it was only Cubans, you know, that sort of supported the Republicans. But I agree, little by little, more and more Latinos that are not Cubans are definitely supporting the Republican Party. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2022. Andrew Alvarez, we appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Carly.
Wow, what an experience that was. That was freaking amazing. The Latino Conservative was on Fox and Friends first. Kind of flattering. They found me. That it kind of tells me that all the work that I've been doing towards this, all the frustration, all the trial and error that I've been putting in through this might actually be working a little bit, just a little bit. I really want to thank them for finding me, first of all, you know, because it means a lot to me that they actually found me. Two, thank them for reaching out to me and then reading my response and then inviting me onto the show. It was a short segment, don't get me wrong, but every single second, every single nanosecond of that segment is like a goal of mine that I've been reaching for. And not only my goal, but a goal for the Latino people too. You know, the topic was how are the Latino people growing in conservatism, even though Trump is no longer president. And it's real simple. We just want to work. We want to work and we want to have our rights stood up for. And that's what I'm for. I'm for your rights. There's another person that I would really like to thank on this. I really do want to show my gratitude to, his name is Trey, the producer. Every now and then, I come across a writer's block, and he doesn't stall at all. I ask him, and he'll throw something out like that. Hey, do this, do this, do this. A good friend of mine, DeAndre, introduced me to him when I first started out on this journey. Now, this journey, this podcast, The Latino Conservative, started out to get some exposure for a campaign that I was going to run about a year and a half ago, and it's turned into something different. Yes, I've only got just over 500 subscribers on my YouTube channel, but still, it started as one subscriber. Trey has motivated me times. Just watching him post. It seems like he would post one of my podcasts just as I was feeling down. I'm like ready, I'm ready to stop because I'm not getting exposure. And then boom, the Latino Conservative does it again. He's keeping an eye on what's going on in Washington, stuff like that. Just stuff to let me know that I'm at least doing something, that somebody is hearing me, and you as well. So who Trey the producer is? Trey the producer, Travis Lawson is his name, but he is the founder and owner of APR TV, which is Always Press Record. You can visit his website at alwayspressrecord.com. Now, what APR production is, APR production began with the goal to just make podcasts. But soon, the talent in the room and behind the camera built a list of clients and rosters of shows that made alwayspressrecord.com a destination. APR Productions will bring brick and mortar business to the digital age and cultivate artists by helping them realize their creative visions. APR Productions can also help with post-productions, pricing tailored to the needs of their artist and or client. At APR Productions, our experienced production staff will handle the production for your creative offerings so that each week, the biggest decision is when to press record. Now, I'm going to have to call him on that one. When to press record. Always, duh. So that was a great experience of mine. I've got to thank my friend Nick, too, for kind of helping me prepare the night before, and another Trey for helping me prepare some. He asked me the more political questions because I didn't know what they were going to ask me. They said, send me some bullet points, and they got me on that first question. That first question, racism. Ooh, that was a big topic right off the bat. But, I think I kind of, even though I stalled just a little bit, paused a little bit, had to think. But I think I was able to recover after that. So, in light of all that, if this is your first time listening to me, my name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative. I come to you every week from wherever I am. I travel the country for a living, and this week I am in the Houston area, my hometown. I got a nice backdrop because I didn't want to make sure that I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose Wi-Fi signal for my interview this morning. But let's get to it. I'm drinking a Monster right now because, normally I drink coffee. I show you my coffee that I have. I'm not drinking hotel coffee right now because I've been up since midnight. I've been just a ball of nerves. So another Monster. Here we go. You can never go wrong with Monster. No, that's not a paid promotion. But to start off, Joe Biden. Doing my hands. That's that noise that you hear. Here's me rubbing my hands. If you're listening to this on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, that was just me rubbing my hands. But let's talk a little bit about Joe Biden. What is he doing already? There's two key things that he's done already within his first week that has a lot of Americans concerned. One is a Keystone Pipeline. Within the first, I want to say even his first full day, strike of a pen, he swiped out 11,000 jobs with that. Why? See, that pipeline was going to bring Canada and the United States together when it comes to transporting oil for clean energy. And yes, oil is clean energy. It's cleaner than a lot of the quote unquote clean energies like solar energy and wind energy. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that those energies still may play an important role. And what I say clean, because emissions wise, those don't give off that many emissions. But when it comes to making those hybrid cars, for example, one, hybrid cars generally cost more than their non hybrid counterparts. Two, they are made with a battery that costs about $2,000 at least on a good day used. Those batteries have a 10-year lifespan. If you keep your car longer than 10 years, you're going to have to replace that $2,000 battery. So you're going to come up with the choice. Do you want to change the battery out, or do you want to buy another car? The production of those batteries and the pollution that comes along with that production far outweigh the emissions that you're going to be reducing with the gas counterpart. Also, with the price of the hybrid car, which is generally higher than the price of the gas counterpart, it's going to be higher. It's going to be quite a bit higher, actually. $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So, as a rule of thumb in the car business, for every $1,000, you're going to go up on your car loan $20 a month. So $6,000. Let's say it's $6,000. No, or let's just do five, just to keep it an even number. You get $5,000 more than the gas counterpart. That's going to be how much? Let's do the math. 20 times 5. That's going to be $100 a month extra that you're paying. Let's take a look at a Honda Civic. It gets roughly over 40 miles per gallon by itself. Gas. The hybrid, depending on how you drive it, if you drive it in the city, it's going to get almost the same. Not that much benefit. For you to get a good benefit of the hybrid aspect of the car, you have to drive it on the highway for greater distance, because then that's when you start creeping into the 50s. But the amount of gas you're going to be saving and paying for on a Civic hybrid, you don't pay for a lot of gas anyway. Those are one of the most fuel efficient vehicles out there. I know, I have one. I can put $20 in gas in my car, drive from Houston to Victoria, Texas, and back, which is about a 3.5 hour drive, because I kind of drive slow. I'm a grandma driver, but either way, I can drive there and back on $20 and have a little extra to drive a couple days after that. $20. It's just, 3.5 hours worth of driving, 6 hours? How far do you actually drive to work and back? Not that much at all. You can probably keep $20. You can probably keep $20 in your gas tank all week long, depending on how much you drive. So the windmills, those big, huge wind turbines. You ever got stuck behind one of those trucks that carry just one blade? It takes a huge, ginormous, oversized load truck with an extended long trailer bed to take just one blade. And they have 3 of them. So you're going to get stuck behind a convoy of those oversized loads, not to mention the gas in those trucks that it takes to move those blades, the production cost to actually produce those. From what I understand, once those are decommissioned, they're not recyclable. So now you've got windmill parts that are just thrown away in a landfill somewhere. And you've got all of these car batteries, these hybrid car batteries that are just thrown away in a landfill, polluting the earth. Now, can we really actually compensate for the savings that we have in clean emission using those? However, with that executive order that Joe Biden just signed, he not only ensured that we're not going to have as much oil, access to as much oil as we could through the North American trade that they have, that Donald Trump signed, but he also cut out 11,000 jobs. So yeah, oil is clean, believe it or not, and it makes other products. A lot of these alternative, they're not as clean as they claim to be. I'm not totally against them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that they're bad. They just need to be refined. And so does oil. Go figure. So Next topic. Oh, let's see. What do we got here? Mitch McConnell. Yeah, I've got mixed feelings about him. But he was the Senate Majority Leader. But now that there's a 50-50 split in Senate, Kamala Harris being the vice president as a Democrat, it makes the Republican Party the minority party. Democrats have the House, the presidency, and Senate. But Mitch McConnell says he'll make a deal with Schumer on power sharing. Now, they've been going back and forth on the filibuster. Do they want to cancel it? Do they want to not cancel it? It's been an ongoing battle, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen eventually, but here's the thing. You've got two Democrat senators that said that they would not do away with the filibuster. So this article I found on Newsmax. Senate GOP leaders Mitch McConnell says that he's dropping a key demand and is ready to move towards a power sharing agreement after two Democratic senators pledged they won't vote to do away with the filibuster. McConnell refused to agree to any deal with Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to share power in the 50-50 Senate without promise that Democrats wouldn't jettison the rule that allowed the minority to block legislation by requiring 60 votes to advance most legislation. Think on that one for a second. Now, Joe Biden has utilized that filibuster, and he has called for the filibuster a few times. And the Schumer rebuked the idea of a guarantee, but McConnell said statements from two Democratic senators, Joe Manchin and West Virginia, and Kristen Sinema of Arizona were enough. There's even one more out there. I forget the name right off the top of my head, but the thought process that she let out was, I could go either way. I don't know yet. I could be convinced. So that tells me right there, it's not about the beliefs. It's not about the people. It's what can you do for me? Which is kind of sad because that's not only how Senate goes, that's also how the House goes. It's how the presidency goes too. It's kind of sad. What can you do for me? And it's not necessarily on bill wise. What can you do for me on this bill to benefit me personally? But hey, I've got this other bill out here that I might want to introduce that I need some support on. Are you going to have my back if I have your back on this one? I scratch your back, you scratch my back. Quid pro quo. Tit for tat, however you want to call it. And that's exactly what they're doing here. The legislative filibuster was a key part of the foundation beneath the Senate's last 50-50 power sharing agreement in 2001. Mitch McConnell said in a statement, with the assurance, I look forward to moving ahead with a power sharing agreement modeled on that precedent. I wonder if they're going to really share power. Because they could come to an agreement. They can do the handshake thing. But will they really share the power? I really don't think Chuck Schumer is interested at all in sharing power. In fact, I think quite the opposite. I think he is power hungry. He is adamant as well. Him and his partner, Nancy Pelosi, in the House, for example, they're going to impeach a president that is no longer president. They drew up the articles of impeachment around January the 13th, 1 week after the riots at the Capitol happened. There was no full-on inquiry. There was no actual inquisition, investigation, nothing like that. No testimonies. Now, the last impeachment that they did, remember, they spent $4 billion on. They spent at least a year. And I say at least a year because even before Donald Trump was inaugurated, you had very, very, very many reps saying that they're already going to go impeach him. The dude wasn't even in the president yet. He wasn't in office yet, but they're ready to impeach him. And impeachment is supposed to remove a sitting president from office. And he wasn't even in office and they're going to impeach him. Now he's not in office again and they're still impeaching him. Why? That's what I'm saying. This power sharing, I mean, you better get that in writing with specifics on there and all sorts of clauses that you can't go past. No loopholes. Because find one loophole and good old Chuck. God, good old Chuck. I think he's the head of the secret society known as the Illuminati or whatever you want to call him. New World Order. That's Chuck. If he's not the head, he is right under the head, somewhere around there. One of the minions, somewhere in there, he's doing a lot of legwork. I think. I can't say for sure because I don't want to get this taken down. Just an opinion. I wouldn't doubt if it is. There. Those are my disclaimers. But either way, Chuck is out there doing all sorts of work to impeach a non-sitting president. Is it because they don't want him to hold federal office ever again? Quite possibly. I mean, Trump has already been rumored to have desires to start his own political party, the Patriot Party. If he starts the Patriot Party, he can definitely run again. But I really don't think Trump is interested in actually running for office again. I don't. He's been there, done that. Being an activist, yes. A lobbyist, yes. I can see all of that. But actually holding office again, I don't think so. I mean, the next time he's up for presidency, he's going to be, 84? He's going to be too old. I don't think he'd have a desire to do that. And I really don't think he's going to have a desire to run for Congress or to run for Senate. I don't. Governor, I can see that. Mayor, I can see that. I see Donald Trump being an activist, being a lobbyist, and that's it. Using his money to do just that. I wonder if he'll ever get his Twitter account back. Speaking of Twitter, time for another drink. Before we get into Twitter, I'd like to take a moment to talk about a referral. And I call it a referral because it's not an official sponsored ad that I have here. But I'm sure most of you have heard of Cash App. Now, what Cash App does, it's a free, totally free app that you can use to monetize a podcast, for example. I've got a Cash App link in my description, in the pinned comment below. If you want to drop me a little love, you can. But more important than that, what it is a way to manage your money. You can take direct deposits to your Cash App. You get a card, credit card, debit card. You get a checking account. No checks, but you get an actual checking account where you can use to send money to your family if they need it. You can also use this, and here's the cool part. You got your direct deposit. You've got your way to help out your family and friends if they need to. You can buy stocks with this. Now, the stock market right now is totally bonkers and has been going up here lately. I take advantage of that. You don't have to be a millionaire or a thousandaire even to buy stocks. You can buy stocks with $5, $10, buy portions of stocks. Tesla costs hundreds of dollars per share, but if I wanted to go $5, if that's all I had to extra, I can go spend $5 and buy Tesla. And I could do that with Cash App. If you don't have Cash App right now, you can go download it for free. Go to www.thelatinoconservative.com/Cash App and then click the referral link that's in there. Or if you already have Cash App, go to that same website and there's another link below that you can use if you want to still show me some love and support me. Use that Cash App. My cash sign is $Latino Conservative. Again, www.thelatinoconservative.com/Cash App. Click on the referral link or click on the link that has $Latino Conservative if you already have Cash App. Okay, so back. We're going to talk about Twitter real quick. I'm pretty sure everybody's in agreement on both sides, even if you don't want to admit it, that Twitter played a part in the elections through censorship, through actually mostly through censorship, showing us what they want to show us. And I say censorship because they censored both parties. They censored, obviously, the Republican Party, Donald Trump specifically. They freaking just suspended his account altogether because they said that he incited violence. They put a label on it. And we've already know what I think about labels, but they censored the Democratic Party too when it came to the Hunter Biden case. They're taking their Section 230 liberties and kind of skewing them. So Section 230 basically makes them not responsible if somebody else posts something because they're not the publisher at that point in time. But it could be argued with them choosing what we see. They are the publisher. That's why it needs to be reformed. But Twitter, they're taking it a bit further. They started this program called Birdwatch. Think about that for a second. Birdwatch. Now, it's not going to be so much people out there looking for Cardinals or looking for Blue Jays or anything like that. It's not going to be anything like that. It's a big tattletale organization, platform, program, group, whatever you want to call it. It is a big tattletale platform where they're going to allow users to comment. And well, basically, they're going to allow users to dictate whether something is misleading or false information. And they're going to put comments in there why they believe it's misleading or false information. Now, let me tell you about that. Why I have a big problem with that. I'm on TikTok. I like TikTok. It's fun. I like to post my opinion on TikTok, and I do it in a respectful manner. It's just what I do. I'm not a mean guy. When someone comments on one of my posts, specifically one guy who I am pretty sure is the culprit, one guy said about what he was going to do to my mom, or what the Democrats are going to do to my mom because of what I said in a video. I commented on that. It wasn't mean at all. I think it was just like an LOL or something along the lines of, great, you just proved my point that leftists can't make a valid argument. Something like that. Those are my go-tos. The very next day, not even the next day, just a few hours later, I tried to engage with somebody on one of my TikToks, and I noticed I couldn't. Got a message up on the top when I typed in my comment, and it said, due to multiple community standard violations, you will not be able to comment until January the 27th. Okay. And I noticed my profile picture was gone too. Evidently that was offensive. And I couldn't message anybody either. I wonder what happened. I don't cuss much. Every now and then I want to slip out, but I don't cuss. I don't post violent stuff. In fact, I quite literally cut it out. I just know, I don't have any proof that one guy that I made that comment to got his giblets hurt and decided to report a bunch of my stuff. So, based off of what he did, I'm censored. Can't appeal it. I have no way to do anything except just wait it out because of what somebody else's opinion was. Not even an opinion. What somebody else's hurt feelings were, or their feeling of retribution. They wanted to get at me because I was bad. I supported the orange man. So that means I'm racist. I'm a coconut. All that stuff. But oh well. It'll be gone tomorrow. Hopefully, let's see what happens. But I found another platform, and right away I can tell right then and there, instantly, that I was being censored previously on TikTok as well, because my video view count, I had about, small TikTok, 3,500 followers, but I would average around 200 views per video. Every now and then I'd have one where it'd blow up a little bit. I get 7,000 views. I get 15,000 views. I think I had one where I had 45,000 views, but my average was about 200 views. And then right after that, when I got reported 20, 30, 7. So obviously I was already being censored at least a little bit because I got on this other platform called Clapper, you know, clap on. And right away, 15,000 views, first video. Second video, 7,000 views. Then another one, like in the thousands, right away, instantly. And my TikTok following, it took me months and months and months of work to get there. Like since July of 2020, I've been working at it, trying to get my following up there. I'm already at 2,000 followers on my Clapper. I've been on it for 3 days. We're being censored. And that's what this is going to do. But it's going to take the responsibility out of Twitter's hands. And it's going to say, hey, we're going to leave this up to the general public. We're going to let them get mad at each other. So it's not our fault. But they took off Parler. Yeah. My feelings on that. Hey guys, thanks again for letting me rant and rave at you this week. I've got another video coming out on Thursday, so be sure to look out for that. Also, I didn't mention it before, but if you stuck around, thank you so much. Thanks again to Fox and Friends first, and thanks again to Trey, the producer. But if you stuck around, thank you especially. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe this. Hit that notification bell so you know whenever I come out with new information. If you're watching this on Rumble, go ahead and click subscribe on YouTube. I'm trying to get this thing monetized because I'm trying to make a difference. And the best way I can make this a difference is by helping you and by keeping this going. This thing right here, if this goes out, I got to go buy a new one. This thing right here, if that goes out, I got to buy a new one. That's all that support does. Plus, if I have any surplus left over, what I do with that is I donate it. My donation charity of choice is the Lupus Foundation. I think it's lupus.org. But my sister battled with lupus for decades. And it got to the point where she couldn't walk. She developed fibromyalgia because of it. She developed rheumatoid arthritis. So basically anything and everything that could hurt on her, it hurt. She couldn't walk anymore because of it. She even tried to get the weight loss surgery to help reduce with the pain in her knees, and it just didn't work. I'd come to visit her every now and then, and I'd have to pick her up off the floor. But that all started with lupus. So any extra penny I get is going to go towards lupus, the lupus.org. And we'll be doing that for the next 6 months. Anything outside of the general maintenance of my equipment that I have is going towards the lupus.org, and any proceeds from any of the merch as well. Any proceeds that is extra from my daily requirements here running the show, it's going to go towards that lupus.org foundation. And links in the description for the merch. Like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on Rumble, click me on YouTube. Just, hit that subscribe button. Watch me on Rumble if you want. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, or Anchor, same thing. The descriptions are going to be in the show notes. Love each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a great day. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative.